Harlem Shake.
That'll never get old to me. Why is it still up?
Oh, man.
It's like stuck on there.
There we go.
Hey, everyone. It's not Thursday night. Yes, it is. It's Thursday. We're coming to you from the future. Ooh, we're from the future. Why does the future sound like a ghost? I have no idea.
I quit.
Yep. We are running on fumes today, ladies and gentlemen, but that's the way we roll sometimes. It's a Wednesday. Everything's all snafu. It's just the way it is. Welcome to the 21 Gun Podcast. I am your host, Kevin Sullivan. With me tonight is Jeremy Walton. We're the official podcast of the Irreverent Warriors, where the mantra is skies out, thighs out. Sky isn't out right now, so I'm not actually sporting my thighs. I'm actually wearing blue jeans. I am so not in. Like, this is my work shirt. I just sat down and hit play. That's all I did.
Wait, work shirts. You're saying that's COVID?
Yeah, there's probably COVID on the shirt. I wear it with my scrubs and whatever. You know what's weird? I'm going to give you a little all day today, and you'll probably notice during the show that I'm going to be kind of stiff like this because I've always had arthritis in my neck. Welcome to the Kvetching Old Men Show, where we talk about our ailments. My neck hurts. No, it's every now and then it hurts.
Wow, your neck, my back. What's next?
Yeah, exactly. But over the past year, my neck has been 100%. Do you know how I heard it this morning? Yawning.
Oh,
I heard it by yawning. I woke up and I was like, you know when you get one of those good yawns, and I tensed my neck muscles up, and then I was
totally going a different direction
all day. It wasn't from doing this. It was from nodding.
No,
yes.
It was yes.
Yeah. So here I am. This is. Do you know? I like to give you because you'll be pushing 40. What are you? 37?
36.
36. Okay, you got 4 more years. You got like a high school career before you turn 40. But I like to give you heads up of things that can happen. When I was 36. I was actually doing jiu-jitsu tournaments, and now I'm over 40 and I yawn.
I'm drinking whiskey, doing hikes, and falling over tree branches.
There you go. Yeah, he got hurt too. He was cleaning up some. Little fun fact, this is the first whiskey I've had in probably a month, at least since the last time before the last time I fasted. So we're going to get real loose and crazy. Make sure you head over to 21gun.net. Listen, or to watch, listen, and hear everything 21 Gun related. You can even buy a t-shirt or a sweatshirt. Make me happy. Go there, buy a 21 Gun sweatshirt or t-shirt. Someone did the other day, and I was really happy about that.
Another one because somebody took it.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah. I don't know. I just have Texas written in my notes. I'm going to be down to Texas. If you guys want to hang out, maybe that's what it was. I believe I will be down there. I can't tell the weeks, but it's going to be the 5th. I'll be in Houston from the 5th to the 8th, and then I'll be in Boerne from the 8th to the 9th, and then I'll be in Dallas, Fort Worth from the 9th to the 10th, and then I'm coming back here and missing all sorts of hikes. So if you guys are in that area, drop me a line. We're trying to check out the Houston area. I don't know. We might be heading down there forever, and we want to check it out, the North Houston area, Woodlands, something like that.
Nice.
Riveting stuff to talk about, Kevin. Also, head over to irreverentwarriors.com for everything IW. Get yourself some gear. Get yourself some 22 Sierra Dark Humor coffee. And pick yourself up some fanny packs. So we'll pull up the little thing here. You have a few more weeks. I don't know when it is. Oh, through the end of March. Yeah, so you have a few more weeks to get 20% off these beautiful fanny packs. Use the promo code FANNYMARCH2021. That's a long one. FANNY for the Marines listening. There's 2 N's. March 2021. So if you use that at checkout, you get 20% off, and you help out the Irreverent Warriors. If you don't want a fanny, maybe you're not a fanny pack guy. I guess you could call it a FUPA pack.
I mean, if you wear it on the back, it's a fanny on a fanny. So I'm just saying.
There you go. It could be what's another name for it? There's FUPA.
No, that is not what you think it means.
FUPA. No, there's another one. Gunt.
We're getting fired.
That's G. No,
we are
bunt.
getting fired. You're getting fired.
Or if you want to spend some money, head over to veterantv.com. Spell it out, veterantv.com. And you have until March 15th to donate money. Did I do the whole thing? veterantv.com/donate. veterantv.com/donate. And donate money. Listen, if everyone tonight, so we get a couple thousand downloads per episode, if everyone tonight goes and does $2 each, let's just say that's $5,000. Wait, am I doing that right? 2,000? Yeah, let's just say it comes out to $5,000. That's 10,000 because Vet TV is going to match everything up to 25,000. So important. So important, in fact. We're working on, now this isn't a promise, but I think it's going to work out. Maybe I will make it a promise. Okay, it's a promise. This Sunday, we're going to do a telethon. And the telethon will be, I guess we'll just be live. We'll have you guys hop on. I don't know all the details yet. I'm still working with the higher-ups. But we'll have some stuff to give away. So that's cool. So if you guys, because I believe, let me look at my calendar here real quick. I'm going to mess it up. No, okay. The 15th is, that Monday. So the 14th will be the last day, I guess the day before the last day to donate.
Good time to do it.
So yeah, we'll do that. And if you guys want to hop on. If you want to be on the show, whatever, we'll have some fun. I've never done a telethon. I think we'll run it kind of like maybe the New Year's episode where we had people jump on. It'll be a lot of fun. So double your spending money. Head over to veterantv.com/donate. And for every dollar you donate, for every $1,000 that you're going to donate right now, they will match 1,000. So that's pretty cool. In a few days, we have Hawaii. That's an awesome hike. I know there's a lot of people already down there. I believe Donnie might be down there, or he's down there pretty soon.
Tomorrow.
The Riplonians should be in town pretty soon. If you guys don't know who the Riplonians are, I don't even know how to describe them. Go check out the episode I did with Ron Ripley, comedian, Air Force veteran, I don't know, a month or so ago. But that's his little cult following. They're going to have like 20 people there. They're going to have flags. So look out for the Riplonians. Gus, look out for Gus. Actually, I don't know if he's going. And he usually watches this show. So chime in, Gus. They have a meet and greet on the 12th from 5 to 8 p.m. at Dave & Buster's Rooftop. That's 10:30. Oh, man. How am I supposed to pronounce that? Ayuhi? 1030 AUHI Street. Ahi. Like the tuna, maybe. 10:30. Listen, if you're in Honolulu, Ohio, look for Dave & Buster's. We have cell phones. Put in Dave & Buster's. It's $37 a person. That's a lot, but it includes buffet, gratuity, tax, and all that stuff. And plus, they have to pay for the venue. So, if you want things like that to be cheaper, I wonder if there's some way they could donate to the... Oh, head over to veterantv.com/donate, and you can... make things like that cheaper. March 20th, we have Palm Springs, California. March 27th, Jacksonville. I always get that one messed up.
Jacksonville
Beach, Florida. Who's chiming in?
Gus just landed in Hawaii with the Riplonians.
Oh, nice. Oh, God. My apologies to Hawaii. Our prayers are with you. April 10th, Tulsa, Oklahoma. April 10th, Jacksonville, North Carolina. I'll just be landing, guys. I'm sorry. I would love to make that one. When's the next North Carolina hike?
Damn, the one time you caught me off guard.
When's the next North Carolina? That'll be the one I get to, unless it's Charlotte. I hate Charlotte.
You love Charlotte, don't you lie. It'll be Wilmington, June 12th.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there. June 12th, maybe, if I'm in town.
Matthew, not Matt, James Reeves.
That's right. Don't call him Matt. April 17th, Oceanside, California. April 17th, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. April 24th, Des Moines, Iowa. Beautiful state, Iowa. April 24th, Fort Worth, Texas. Maybe a future new home. I don't know. So, that's all I got. You got any?
Yeah, before you get into that, anybody who's watching, make sure when you click on StreamYard or Facebook, whatever you're accessing, give StreamYard access to your Facebook comments, because when you guys type into chat, I can't see who it is. It just says Facebook user. Like, why are you bringing sweet tea, trying to start some shit? Yes, but I don't know who you are, so I'd like to roast you a little bit if you could bring your name in. So
yeah, I always see that, and I never know what to tell people. I don't know how to give directions to do it. You just click on it.
Literally, when you go to click on it, it says please access, or please allow StreamYard access.
Okay.
It says it on there.
Awesome. What's next? Here we go. I'm not going to lie to you. I hate that little stinger. I think it's so cheesy.
It's cheesy as fuck.
And we steal from Nick Palama. He's right down the road. Yeah, right down the road from here. Nick and his Ranger Up. I have a lot of Ranger Up gear. You're getting free plugs tonight. Nick Palama Ding Dong.
Donate to the Raleigh Hike.
Yeah, this is great. He's going to be like, hey, did you hear they were talking shit about you on the show? No, we're not. A little bit, but not much beyond that. News from around the AOR. I want to name it something else, too. Maybe like, I don't know. You guys tell me. Instead of news around the AOR, maybe the veteran verse? No? That's not even military verse.
The vet verse? I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
I'm a jarhead. I'm not supposed to think of funny shit like that.
No, just stick with
We
AOR.
do funny shit. We don't think of funny shit.
All right, here we go. Pull up number 2. This one, I'm going to try. Now, we have to tread, and you guys probably noticed during the episode and during the shows, we try to tread lightly with certain topics, yeah. And so I'm going to tread lightly on this one, but I mean, it's my opinion. This isn't the opinion of Irreverent Words. This is the opinion of Kevin Sullivan, former U.S. Air Force officer, flyer, and all-around awesome dude. So a task force charged with making recommendations to boost congressional security after a deadly January 6th pro-Trump mob assault on Capitol Hill has proposed establishing a permanent military presence ready to go at a moment's notice in Washington, D.C. The security review, led by retired Lieutenant General Russell Honore. This guy's a real piece of work. He was in charge of the military response in Katrina. And I would like to let you know that when we were sitting on the tarmac, I think that's figuratively, we might have been at home waiting to get on the tarmac. The aircraft, what do we do? As C-130 guys, we drop stuff out of the back of our airplane and we let it hit. You know what I'm trying to say? We airdrop stuff. We airdrop it really close. Here, I'm going to do this real quick, just so, because I feel like I'm talking. Yeah, let's do it like that.
All right, cool.
Although my beautiful face is hidden like this. It doesn't really work.
Move closer to me, Dad.
And we waited. And we sat there and we were ready to go and drop some water. This is getting uncomfortable. Or supplies or whatever. We never got called up. I was so pissed off about that because as we're watching the news, some guy in a helicopter is like throwing water bottles out of a helicopter.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and these people are on the ground trying to catch it. And it's like, God, we were there and they didn't use us. So that's all off. So anyways, I digress. He recommended establishing a permanent National Guard Quick Reaction Force, or QRF, for all of D.C. What are your thoughts on that?
Interesting timing.
Right.
Just because of the dynamic. But I think, honestly, the way our capital should have been, it should have been guarded regardless. I don't care who it is. So
I disagree.
Although I think it shouldn't be such a visual force. It should be plainclothes officers, not
police,
military established.
Police, yeah. I just don't. The idea of having armed troops in my nation's capital with walls and barbed wire.
Then we should worry.
We are a free country, and it just, I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me at all.
Well, in general, no, that does not sit well because then also walls work. The point being is that we should not be deploying our troops on our own soil for any reason unless we're terrorizing each other.
Maybe if there is like a natural disaster and they need people to dig or something like that. Yeah, that's totally different.
That's like a FEMA thing.
The whole point of this, and if you look for a second there, I thought they were unarmed. I mean, they had their M4s, but they didn't
They had no arms?
Yeah, they had. But then I looked, I'm like, oh shit, they got full magazine pouches. So, I mean, they were ready to be fully armed at a moment's notice. And it's like,
yeah, but it's the National Guard. They probably gave them all blanks just to scare people.
Yeah, or it's like circa Vietnam era ammo and it's just wet and doesn't work.
Oh man, they got BFAs on the end. Don't worry, guys.
He said the article goes on, this could be done by mobilizing military police from Gardell. You know what? I'm not going to get that much more into it, but I don't know. And then if you look and you Google this, you're going to see a lot of people that seem to be excited over this notion. And I don't know why that is.
Excitement is not the word I would use.
I mean, we're a free country. I don't know. It really gets me upset. And we're seeing more and more. So I looked up too, if this is legal, can you actually legally do this? And there's something called the Insurrection Act, which is the most widely cited legal authority relating to the president's authority to deploy U.S. troops domestically. I feel like when I was in high school, I learned that that was just against the law. The U.S. can't use its troops
but
against
I think that's
its people.
active duty.
Oh.
I think that is specifically active duty.
Okay.
Could you imagine sending Second Mar Div to the Capitol? No. Hell no.
Or the 10th Mountain Division. Oh, wait. We'll get on that one later. Enacted in 1807 as an addendum to a prior statutes authorizing the use of militias. The original Insurrection Act authorized the use of the standing military in cases of foreign invasion as well as response to internal insurrection at the request of the state authorities. Okay. Congress later amended it following the Civil War, blah, 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 blah. I have something here. Let's see. But only to enforce certain constitutional rights. Or where the president determines that rebellion or similar conditions make it impractical to enforce the law through normal means. Okay, I mean, I guess in that wording, but that's such a slippery slope because I could just be like...
Someone farted the wrong way.
Yeah, it's an insurrection. Now let's nationalize the Guard and put them... I don't know. It seems like a slippery slope. I think it's a bad idea. But also remember, people were freaking out. Certain people were freaking out when they were sending federal... law enforcement to guard federal courts over the summer when the entire country was born in. Yeah. And so they were given crap for that. So I don't know. I can't make sense to what I'm seeing. Like every day something happens and I'm like, what? Where were we? Like 2015 was a completely different country. It was a completely different world. 2010, 2001. Actually, it's crazy, and I'm at a lack of words, but I wanted to bring this up because that's
times are changing.
Did I talk about this last week? I can't remember if I did or not, but to kind of piggyback on this, they're actually giving out decorations for people that were at the DC.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, pull up number 3.
That's just... Could you imagine getting that's like drones.
No, I couldn't do it. We're there too. Okay, ready? So National Guard troops who deployed to the nation's capital to provide security following the June 6th riot at the Capitol building will be awarded local service ribbons in defense, a defense official said Friday. The District of Columbia National Guard plans to award at least one of 2 ribbons to all soldiers and airmen who supported the security mission before and during after the 59th presidential inauguration in recognition of their service, according to Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Robert Carver. Come on, Robbie. More than 26,000 National Guard members from all 50 states, D.C., and 3 territories were deployed ahead of inauguration to support the local... We just talked about all this. The 2 ribbons that the National Guard troops could receive are the District of Columbia National Guard Presidential Inauguration Support Ribbon. That's the name of it. District of Columbia National Guard Presidential Inauguration Support Ribbon, or the District of Columbia Emergency Services Ribbon. Come on. I mean, let me tell you about something real quickly. There's something called the Battle of Guadalcanal. It was back in 1942. It involved 60,000 U.S. Marines and soldiers. There were 7,100 of them died. 4 were captured. 29 ships were sunk. 615 aircraft were lost. The Empire of Japan had, this one's even crazier, had 36,000 troops dug in. 31,000 of them died or killed themselves. 38 ships lost, between 680 and 880 aircraft lost. Do you know who doesn't have a campaign ribbon?
Them.
Veterans of Guadalcanal. And they want to give these out.
Nuts.
Do you know when it all started to go downhill? Do you remember this? Pull up number 4. Walking her. Did you see this? This is a couple years ago.
Hell?
Okay, that is a man, soldier, who's wearing high heels.
It's ma'am.
He's wearing, now here's the thing. He's wearing those high heels for walk a mile in her shoes. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I mean,
certain things you don't do.
You don't dress like that in uniform and pretend that you're making a statement, because you're not. You're looking like a jackass. But
Who
that's
took
when
a picture of me. Y'all are fucked up.
Yeah, scroll it down. I think there's other pictures. Look at, and they're just look at. Hey, it was so hard.
He's a sergeant.
Do you know
he's
what?
an NCO. Look at a haircut. Come on, dude.
I got an idea. You want to walk a mile in a woman's shoes? Give birth to a human being. Something I would, if I woke up. Listen, if I woke up tomorrow, and I was how do I put this without sounding too creepy? If I woke up tomorrow as a woman, and I knew in 9 months I had to give birth. Someone's like, "You're going to give birth in 9 months." I would jump out the window.
Oh, you got the pantyhose.
I would shoot myself. There's no way I would get close to passing a human being out of my body. There you go. Walk a mile in her shoes. I don't know. Pass a
This is some friendly fire. This must be 10th Mountain.
Is it? No. Who is that?
That was a joke.
Oh, I got you. But I can't read his patch on there. I want to say it was like a ROTC unit.
Oh, it's got to be ROTC, the Leadership of Excellence. What the fuck?
I don't know. But that's when it all started going downhill.
No, it's not
when
ROTC.
I first saw that, it was like, and I remember it, I was so disgusted. And luckily they got fried.
He's got to be a vet.
People tore them apart, rightfully so. What time is it? 8:20? I want to do a little bit
cadets in cadre put on their favorite pair of high heels and walked in Temple's Walk a mile in her shoes to raise awareness of sexual assault against women, Temple University, or OTC. That's still not a way to do it. You're just disrespecting uniform.
Yeah.
There's a way to do it that's not in uniform.
And
I don't care who you are.
And that's what it is. It's not disrespecting their cause by any stretch of the imagination.
So
it's
I
just
support the cause by all means, but don't do it in uniform.
Yeah.
That's the one thing we learned. Even as a jarhead, Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, now Space Force, you're welcome. Do not do it in uniform. That is you don't do it.
Did you see that they're you said Space Force, they're trying to vote on what the rank system's going to look like, and everyone's freaking out because it basically looks like every other branch's enlisted rank system. So it's like stripes, 1, 2, 3, rockers, whatever, and they're like,
so nothing's changed.
Yeah, but to me, it's like if you're going to be a military organization, just do it. Just stay the way everyone else does it. Maybe change the colors or the pattern, but just keep it simple. That's neither here nor there. I need some eye bleach. I don't know about you guys.
We have whiskey. No, we don't waste that whiskey. We use twisted tea.
Pull up number 85. I'm sorry, number 5. 85-year-old Special Forces veteran. He's actually, he's not 85 anymore. He's 91. So
Billy
check
Waugh
out
was
this
a
guy.
Special Forces operator who also did 5 tours as a CIA spook in Vietnam, Laos, Libya, and probably elsewhere. He chased the Soviets out of the Pacific and hunted down Carlos the Jackal. He even survived being shot in the head by the North Vietnamese. And to top it all off, at 71, he was in the mountains of Afghanistan near Tora Bora, hunting down Osama bin Laden. At 71. Everyone in his outfit was wounded in Vietnam, but Waugh really did survive a shot to the forehead. The bullet took off part of his skull, and even the NVA thought he was dead. Waugh once told the newspaper, quote, "You know it's a bad day when the best thing about it is getting shot in the head." So basically, the reason 85-year-old Waugh is still alive is probably because death is too afraid to come for him. His awards include the Silver Star, 4 Bronze Stars, 4 Army Commendation Medals, and 8 Purple Hearts for wounded. He retired from the Army in 1972, but wasn't ready for the sunset years. He was ready to give other people their sunset years. He continued his work in the CIA.
Look at that picture. So I tweeted that picture out. All right, you can take it down. Look at that guy. So I tweeted that picture out on IG just because it was a great picture and it was like 20 years and the picture is 20 years old. And someone wrote, "Hey, is that Billy Waugh?" And I'm like, I have no idea. And it's right in the middle. And I was like, so I looked him up and I was like, I don't think that's Billy Waugh because he'd be 71 when that picture was taken. And he's one of the horse soldiers, bearded out. I mean, you saw the picture. And no, that was him, 71 years old. Like, that's my dad's age. And this guy...
kicking ass and taking names.
And his beard was like dark. He was like a young man. Well, he's not that young, but...
Was it beards or was it for something for men?
Oh, just for men? I doubt Billy Waugh does that. How do we not know? How is this guy... Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the asshole. But how do we not know this guy? How come he's not a household name? We know Audie Murphy. This guy should be a household name.
I agree.
But yeah, there you go. There's some eye bleach. There's some badassery to get you through your day. I do have this other things I want to get to, but I also want to get to our interview. Let's just get to our interview.
Well, because we always seem to run out of time, so let's go right into it, man.
All right, we got Jarred. Darn it, I didn't write his last name down, so we'll have him tell us. Prewitt. There we go. Former Marine. He's got a really good bio. I'm gonna rather than get into it, he's writing a book called Deathwalker Marines about 1/6 out of, I believe this was in 2006 in Ramadi. So he's going to talk about that, his background and all that good stuff. So welcome aboard. Is that what Marines, do they use that Navy baloney jargon? Do they say welcome aboard?
We just say hi.
You guys say aye.
Yeah, we say what's up.
Okay, that works. That works.
Yeah.
Depending on the rank, it's other than that, it's hey fucktard, hey you who's some shit like that.
Why do you guys say aye? Explain that one to me. I always think
because we're part of the Navy and that's how. They do it.
Yeah. Yep.
Does that mean yes, clear, understood?
It's you acknowledging them. It's basically saying yes, I get you, I heard you.
So piratey. So aye.
No, it's R.
Well, in true story, flying, if someone calls out something like aircraft 2:00 approaching, and you can't find it, you say, I'm sorry, you're looking for it and you find it, you say, tally ho. I'm not kidding. That is cockpit jargon.
Who's the pirate?
That's it. You say tally ho. And I wonder if in the Navy planes, they're like, tally ho. Aye, aye, sir.
Off the port bow.
Awesome,
With a British
man.
accent, too, for sure.
Thanks. So welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. I like to go back. Let's go back to where it all began. You put in your bio that you played soccer, and I feel like, because I get a lot of bios from a lot of people, people put stuff in there because it means something to them as a person. So I can only assume it meant a lot to you. How did playing for a team, practicing, losing, missing goals, winning goals, how did all that play into the development of yourself as a character and eventually Marine?
Well, that's where that like never quit attitude really started. I got cut from my junior year soccer team at high school, and that sucked. And it always sucks to get cut from the team, but
sure.
I stuck with the sport, came back out my senior year and started over the goalie who had beat me out my junior year. So, I take that for a win, and went on and had a pretty good season, and just despite soccer and all that, I started working at a really early age. Like 14, I was doing tile installing and flooring and all that stuff. So, got that hard work ethic built in there. And I was one of those kids who just did good enough in school to get by. Never really applied myself, but it just, it's school. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I look back on myself in high school and grade school, and I think about the things that I didn't apply myself to. And I used to beat myself up over it, but I think what a lot of people have to do, and they need to learn to do, is it sounds weird to say it, but they have to forgive themselves. So you have to look at who you were and the stupid things you did and say, do you know what? It's not, whenever you make a choice, even if it's a bad choice, a lot has led up to that choice. And it's not always 100% your fault. Especially, man, we were just talking the other day. I think back, was it last week in the episode? I think back to stuff I did at 16, and I'll get the chills. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And my wife's
you
like,
idiot. What were you thinking?
What did I do? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll just be driving down the road. I'm like, God damn. My wife's, what's going on? Nothing. She was
Squirrel.
Yeah, I was 15. Don't ask.
Maybe
But
I don't know.
yeah, that's an important thing. Yeah, you also brought up being a tile installer. I think that's really important too, because right now I'm lucky enough to have a white collar job. But I mean, I was digging ditches in Boston with my cousin. Shout out to Rich Hawley and his construction crew there. I put in hardwood floors. I did carpentry with my dad. It something about making shit money, doing shit work, builds character to it, because you show up. You can't, I mean, there are people that don't show up and they get fired, and those are usually the assholes who are working at, the 7-Eleven right now because they can't get any other job. But yeah, that's a huge character builder, I think.
Definitely. And it was something too that I got to carry into the rest of my life. I could go tile my bathroom right now if I wanted to. I mean, I don't, but it's still something out there, and you do the family a favor or whatever. But that work ethic and just that, I mean, tiling, it's hard. And so, yeah, I hate to throw around the word too much, but it builds grit or whatever buzzword is flying around there today. So
it definitely does, because like someone, your neighbor's like, hey, I need help with this, and you can pick up a skill saw or whatever. Yeah, I swear that there's almost I don't even know what they are anymore. I don't pick on millennials because I'm at the tail end of Gen X and the beginning of millennials, but it's more like a Gen Z. It's like you watch on commercials, and it's like there's a pride of not knowing what the hell you're doing. Like there was a Geico commercial or something like that, State Farm, one of those, and the kid's on the side of the road and he's like, "Oh, Dad, how do you change a tire?" And the dad's like, "I don't know, son." I mean, I'm watching this and I'm like, "What are they trying to sell? You're not selling me." And I don't know.
That's Sparks.
Yeah, everybody was Yeah, everybody was so worried about like what Billy Madison and Tommy Boy was conveying, and now we actually have that in spades today. So
yeah, we really
yeah. So the '90s were awesome, by the way. So
Great. We were picking on him during his episode because I was like, man, I can picture you with frosted tips and baggy skater pants.
And I had it too.
Do you know who was? I could see him. You know the redhead kid, Scott something kid. He's my age. He played the son in Austin Powers. He played what's his name, son. He also does the voice on Family Guy.
Seth
Green.
Seth Green. Yeah.
With the frosted tips, he comes with a bag. That was basically me.
Didn't he? Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't he play someone like that?
Yeah, he did.
That's funny.
She's not that into you or something like that. It's one of those type of movies. The hot girl, and he's trying to act all cool, and
Yep. I do remember that.
Yep.
I'm a little more embarrassed that I saw a chick flick like that, and I was probably in my 20s. Who was I trying to impress?
Guarantee you've seen Notebook over me.
Oh God!
Ooh,
so
that's a yes.
How did participating in athletics and blue collar work? How did that affect your decision to eventually choose the Marine Corps?
Well, like I was kind of saying with school and all that, I went and tried out college, and again, just doing enough to get by. The whole, by that time, like Iraq was in full swing, Fallujah was a mess, and I was just like, I'm just sitting in my dorm room one night with some Captain Morgan, and I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, I'm just wasting my time. I'm not going to be young forever. So let's go. And this and all that too with my grandpa was a huge influence on me. And he was a soldier in World War II, served under Patton in his Patton's Third Army, a grunt infantry. And that's all I wanted to do from a really young age. Really, I don't know why it was always the Marines instead of following in my grandpa's footsteps with the Army. I don't know. I really don't know why. It's just I've always had a fanboy thing with the Marine Corps, and then
both.
right. It's real. It's a real thing, and just one day in college, I'm just like, forget it. I'm going to drop out. I'm going to go to finish the semester, go to the recruiters. I enlisted, finish out the semester. My sister was getting married, and I waited for her wedding to get over. And like 2 weeks after that, I was off to boot camp.
Oh,
damn.
Did they give you any sort of like bonus or anything for having some college under your belt, or was it just?
Oh, well, I mean, I got to pick up PFC, and I guess you could call this a bonus of getting a 5-year contract and going and going into something called security forces, which is highly frowned upon in the 03 community.
Yep.
Which I would come to find out. But at the time of enlisting, my recruiter said, "Hey, dude, this is your only way into the grunts," and he knew that was the only thing I wanted to do. So he could have spun whatever lie he could, and the lie was 03 field is closed right now. And, how else would I know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So he said security forces was the only way into the infantry. And I said, 5 years, whatever. What's another year? Sign me up. I mean, it all worked out in the end. I mean, I don't regret a single decision I made. It all worked out. So
I had a guy on. I can't for the life of me, I can't think of his name. He's a singer. Gosh, I see his face and everything. Man, that's gonna bug me. He was security forces. He was like some sort of rapid response, something like anti-terror, something.
Fast team?
Yes, that's what he was.
Fake ass SEAL team.
Fake ass. I should bring that too. Who the hell? What's his name? He's on Vet TV. Singer. I want to say like McClellan. Someone put in the comments. And actually, I'm giving you no information, so don't put it in the comments because I can't think of this. Look up on when I ask the next question, look up on 21gun.net, go to archives and look back to like episode 10 or 9. So see, I mean, it was like 3 years ago. So, but that's neither here nor there. I hate it. You know what? I hate it when people say, hey, do you know so-and-so? You know, I mean, the Marines are a small
Completely random
unit, but it's like, come on, you can't, there's no way. Okay. So
but there's been times when that actually does pan out though. And that's,
oh yeah. And you're like, holy shit. Well, we were on a Silkies hike a couple years ago in Raleigh. I think it was Raleigh. And I'm with a guy named Paul Cardenas. Hey, Paul.
Yep. That's Raleigh.
So we're walking along and Paul's talking about his unit and the dude next to him, who's the one that, God, I can't think of anyone's name now. The big guy with the big beard. I think he calls himself Maui.
Jason Aguila.
Yes, Jason Aguila. I think they were in different companies, but part of whatever the same. This is so bad for me because I try to learn the Marine lingo, but I can't. They were part of the same.
It's okay.
Battalion and not the same
battalion. Yeah.
Okay, they were part of the same battalion, but not the same company.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean,
that makes sense.
And the only reason why they knew that is we were walking and he overhears him talking and he's like, hey, we were there together. It's crazy. So yeah, those things do work out, I guess.
Mm-hmm. You want to hear a really crazy instance of that?
Sure.
So, okay. So it was 2017 and I get a random text from my cousin and he lives down in Milwaukee and I'm up in like Appleton, Wisconsin area. And he texts me and he's like, hey, do you know a Ryan McCon? And I was like, yeah, like he served with me. He was killed in Iraq. I'm like, why? Well, his dad just gave a speech at my church. I'm just like, what? And I had, I'd spoken to McCon about his dad before, but I'd never really connected that his dad was in Milwaukee, and being a Wisconsinite myself, I never connected those dots. So I was like, yeah, I know him really well, and we eventually like met, and his dad had never heard the story or heard anything about what happened to his son, and fortunately or unfortunately, I was probably one of the last people, if not the last person, to have seen him alive and was able to tell his dad finally after, this was 2017 and this was back in, November 7th, 2006. And, 11 years. And he had, he just knew his son was killed in Ramadi. And that was basically it. So 11 years and not having a clue. And I was like, just blown away and just so thankful and grateful to finally make that connection with him. And to finally, we stay in contact to this day. I love the guy. He's a brother. He's a former Marine as well. And just a crazy, crazy story of that. The Marine Corps really is a small community. Yeah. And yeah, you do get those like random things like, hey, did you know a Smith? Like, dude, everyone knows a Smith.
Yeah, knows like 10 Smiths.
But there are those stories that happen. You make these connections, and it's wild.
I can't even fathom the idea of not knowing if something ever happened to my son in the military, of not knowing this story. And think about how many people had that. How many people in Vietnam.
Too many.
I don't wear it anymore, but the first memorial bracelet I ever wore was for just a random Vietnam guy. I heard his story, and he had been shot down over, let's say, Laos or somewhere, and that was it. It's all they knew. It's been 60 years or whatever. It was like almost 60 years. Yeah, 1966. He was lost, and I can't imagine just not knowing. That's why it always pissed me off. So civilians, I don't think quite understand that. Okay, he died, and now you get the message. What was her name? Clinton. What was her name? Hillary Clinton, when she said, a bunch of people died, what difference does it make? It freaking makes a difference.
A huge difference, because most of them sent them there to do that. Yeah. So it's like...
Plus, it's closure. It's closure to know that. So that's, that's a powerful story.
We lost our internet.
What?
We're frozen.
I can still hear you guys. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
good. So
That's weird.
Yeah, your camera cut out.
There we
There
go.
you guys are.
We're
That
back.
is weird.
I don't know what happened there.
Sorry, let me turn off my download for Pornhub.
Maybe a little nervous there. Okay, so I understand you said in your bio that you weren't perfect. Tell us about the trouble you got into at your first duty station.
Oh. All right. So
you put it in the bio, man. You know I'm going to ask about it.
Right on. No, yeah, right on. So I get to my first duty station out in Washington, security forces, and you know you got to be like squeaky clean to do this job and whatever. And I'm there for a few months, and I take my I become buddies with some of the guys on the platoon, and I take one of the team leaders out to pick up his car from the mechanic or something one morning. And we're at the mechanic, and I'm just waiting for him to make sure he gets his car or whatever. And he comes like running out of the shop with his cell phone in his hand. And he's like, dude, you need to get back to base right now. Just leave. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me, but you got to get back right now. I'm just like, what? Like, why? And he's just go. I'm like, okay, roger that. So I start heading back to base, and my actual team leader calls me, and he's just like, dude, what did you do last night? And I was just like, I was out in town. Like I slept at a hotel. I wasn't even on base last night. Like what is going on? And he he's basically said the same thing. Just get back, clean up the room as best as you can, and stand by. I'm like, roger that. So I get back, go up to my room, and open the door, and it's just destroyed. I mean, there's like a bookshelf that's knocked over onto one of the racks. Cans and bottles of beer are everywhere. There's bottles of liquor. There's pizza boxes. There's pizza on the floor. Chip bags blown open. Like,
I think that was my room.
So wait, you were in the city, so you didn't do this?
No, I wasn't in my room. This is my roommate.
Oh.
So my roommate, he was in a different platoon than me, and some of his buddies, one of them just picked up corporal, so they threw a big rager in our room because we were separate from the main barracks.
Okay.
So we were in the Navy barracks, which are dope and awesome. So they had a big party, and this was Thursday night, which is every Marine knows field day.
Yep.
And come Friday morning, the company gunny or whoever was coming around to inspect was supposed to inspect the room across from us, and instead inspected ours.
Oh, I can't imagine that would feel very good knowing that happened.
No. So, so they apparently had counted everything and just took pictures.
Oh God, did you get NJP'd or?
I'm getting there. So
So there it was.
So these dudes weren't even there anymore. Like they were out doing whatever they do in Washington. And so I of course it's all put on me. And I'm like, I just turned 21 like a couple of months ago. All the other dudes involved in this were 18, 19, or 20. So it's like, well, there's a sword. I'm going to fall on it. I didn't like where I was anyways, so let's see what happens, right? Roll the dice. So I went in and stood tall before the man, went into my company commander. I don't even remember his name, Captain someone. And he starts to ream me out, and he gets to the point where he gets to all the nitty gritty of it. He's like, so what you're trying to tell me is that by yourself, you drank 150 beers.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Get the hell out of my office. Aye, sir. Like, about face and out.
So that was it? You skated or?
Well, I was put on, I think I was on restriction and extra duties for 14 days. And then I was kicked out of the platoon. I had my clearance or whatever taken away. from that place, and then went down to like the HQ, which which was the best thing that could have happened. The guard chief or whoever it was a gunny, and he was like a month out from leaving, and he's like, Prewitt, after a couple weeks I had worked for him, he's like, Prewitt, I know you want out of here, and where do you want to go? Like, you can go anywhere in the fleet. Where do you want to go? And I had just had a buddy who went to 1-6, and I was just like, I'll go to 1-6. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. Like, hell yeah. Like, let's go. Like, I'm ready. Like, let's do this. I've been in for about 2 years at this point. So I got orders to 1-6, and I was out there like 3 weeks after that.
Wow. So that kind of worked in your favor.
Exactly. It worked out.
Well, here's the thing, and maybe this is the old officer in me talking, but except I was never in charge of anyone. But it's in the enlisted ranks, you have room to screw up, and you can get schwacked. It's how you respond to that, right? If
you bounce back. Oh,
yeah, because you can just be a shitbird for the rest of your career, and we all know them. And they end up just, they don't re-enlist or whatever. Some of them Article 15 or. But yeah, I mean, that's so it's like, you and I understand, from what I understand, as an enlisted person, those are way easier to bounce back from, because in the Air Force, in the flying world, if you got an NJP, I had a friend who didn't make captain because he might have got Article 15, and that is basically, career. Yep, your career is done. There's no coming back. If you miss, it's like 99% people pin on captain. If you miss that, go find another job.
Right.
But yeah, I always liked that about, the military in general, that's in place, right? You can screw up, you can get schwacked pretty hard, but you can also, become something better.
It sounds like just officers in general just get the shaft when it comes to that, but you get so much leeway. It's like that movie Anchorman with Will Ferrell. Catches Baxter, eats a wheel of cheese. He's not so pissed off. He's more impressed, and he knows you can bounce back. So it's like
I didn't
just
understand.
Go away.
I didn't understand that reference one bit.
You're gonna have to watch Anchorman, man. You have to. Watch
Anchorman.
Great
Okay.
movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
You ate a wheel of cheese? I'm not even mad.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
impressed.
I remember.
I'm impressed.
Yep, I do remember. When you said wheel of cheese, I was picturing a cartoon. I didn't hear you say Anchorman, so I know. Remember, I told you I'm a little slow on the uptake today.
Running on fumes today.
That's right. Well, this is always the end of my day, and it's like, this is the beginning.
I hear
of
you,
my,
man.
Of my.
I hear you.
Whatever this is. Okay, so I'm looking down. I want to get to a lot. 90% of the time when I have people on, we end up shooting the shit, and I don't get to all my good questions. But yours, I really wanted. There's some things I really want to talk about.
Yeah, man.
First thing, because I know you're working on a book, Deathwalker Marines, awesome freaking name. And I want to talk about your time with Cold Steel or Charlie Company during Ramadi. I had Major Scott Husing on not long ago.
Oh yeah.
He was commander
Echo
of
and
2-4.
Ramadi?
Yeah, Echo and Ramadi.
Yep. Okay.
So I mean, he was 2-4, you were 1-6. Did you guys have any overlap or anything like that? While you were
they were part of the surge before the surge was actually officially announced.
Okay.
And I think they came into Ramadi like November sometime or November, December 2006. And then I think they stayed through till February, March, or maybe even longer than that. I can't remember what it was in the book. But they came and they stayed instead of like what you might usually do would become for a month or two and then go somewhere else. But yeah, they came and they stayed. But yeah, we had some overlap, especially during the whole Building 10 fiasco around, I think, December 19th. That whole Christmas, New Year's time.
Yeah.
They
had a bunch of casualties, right?
Just insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
yes.
for every unit in the city that was involved with Building 10, and I mean it was we called it Operation Way City, and it was madness.
Yeah. I was there at that time, but we were focused on Fallujah, right? We were focused on TQ and Al-Assad. I was a C-130 guy, so we were resupplying and doing all that stuff and medevacing. Cool. And, there was no airfield for Ramadi. There might have been a little one, I guess, for helicopters, but not for C-130.
Yeah, Camp Ramadi had like a helicopter
for like the Sherpas, those little army.
Yeah.
But so I never felt connected. I didn't really know, and it wasn't until years later that I was like, holy shit, how do I know? I know so much about Fallujah and all the work we were doing there, and then out in Al Assad with all the shit going down in the Anbar. But Ramadi, man, it's I would say
it was the ugly redheaded stepchild.
It really was, and it was a freaking hell of a battle, and a lot of Marines died there, and they did a really good job. So, hopefully, Echo and Ramadi, brings light to that, and hopefully your book. What was the Anbar Awakening?
So the Awakening started back in, I think historians say September 2006, and it was Sheikh Sattar was meeting with Colonel McFarlane, and there's a couple other characters involved, but I can't remember their names off the top of my head. But they started to build a really tight bond and working together, and it was the tribes finally coming together and being sick of the oppression from Al Qaeda in Iraq, AQI, of what they were doing to the people. And one thing that American Sniper did really good was showing the Butcher of Ramadi with a drill, drilling people.
Horrible scene.
Absolutely awful. But that was, that's daily life for the civilians, and eventually, I don't know how you don't grow sick of it after the first time, but enough was enough after one point, and the tribe started working together instead of the people in the city, the people who were actually from Ramadi, helping the insurgency. They began to separate themselves from it, and while that was happening, it really didn't take much of an effect on what was actually happening inside of Ramadi, because most of the fighters were foreign.
That's right. Yeah. Hamidi talks a lot about that. He's the terrorist whisperer we had on. He talks a lot about how these fighters come in, and he's looking at them because he was an Iraqi. He was a spy for this, I want to say Central Intelligence Agency, but he's looking at him. He's like, these aren't freaking militia dudes. These guys have nice gear. These are, and actually a lot of his stuff took place at a lot of his stories took place in and around the Anbar province, even though he was kind of on the other side. But there's a big part of his story I haven't heard. So when you're writing your book, you seem to know a little bit about the history of the area. Are you going to delve into that and kind of use that as a backbone to your unit's operations there? Okay. Yep. What's it like to? Are you just reading up? Are you interviewing Iraqi professors, or how are you getting all that information together? That sounds like it would be daunting.
I wanted to. It is, and I want to do all of that. And that a big part of our process is interviewing. Getting guys who were from, I want to reach out to guys from other units who are in Ramadi and interview them, especially those guys from like 3-8, and I think 2-4 was there back in 2004. Those guys are just a treasure trove of information.
Yeah, they were there in 2004, and then they went back in 2006. Yep. And I believe Scott was I think he was a first lieutenant, or no, because he was a first lieutenant, and then he made rank to captain. Yeah, so he went from platoon to company in the same friggin' area. Talk about like just what do they call it, deja vu? Can you imagine walking down the streets of Ramadi and being like, "Holy shit, I'm here again"?
Oh man, yeah, yep. That'd be insane.
Yeah, I get that.
You had mentioned that things started going sideways for you health-wise in Iraq. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so after, I told you about meeting McConn's dad, and I was right next to him when the IED that killed him went off, and it wrecked a number of us. There was, our whole fire team, Hancock, May, even our LT and his RTO, all got. We were the closest to the blast. I was knocked unconscious for a little bit. Hancock was thrown over a wall and had to run around like an entire city block to get back to us. And then after that, I started just, you just start to notice like different things. Like I would just get tired for no reason. But back in 2006, when I was 22 at that time, you don't think about that stuff.
No, hell no. You're invincible,
you
man.
you grab another rip it, you suck it up, and you keep forging ahead.
Yeah.
Right. But then I started to get like this weird rash on my face that would be like right around here, like right around your the bridge of your nose and your nostrils and all
rash.
that.
They call it the malar rash or malar rash. Yeah.
Yep. And that started back then, and that would stay with me. I mean, I still get it to this day.
Yeah.
But those symptoms would, progressively get worse and worse. Unfortunately, that building 10 fiasco, I'd get my bell rung again. So I got 2 pretty nasty concussions within like a month's time. So that certainly didn't help things. And then I know there's like a lot of work and research being done with burn pits and the after effects of that stuff. I sat right above a burn pit on post 3 at OP Katana for, 6 hours at a time. Like,
Hunter, check out the Hunter 7 Foundation, I believe. I know they're big into it. Jason Piccolo's big into that. I'd like to get them on because there's a lot of stuff that I don't even really know about. But yeah, people are suffering from that. Were you diagnosed with lupus? Was that eventually what happened? Okay.
Yeah. So 2014, I would get a letter from the VA giving me my diagnosis for lupus, and then 2 weeks after that, on September 17th, 2014, I had a stroke.
Damn.
Yeah. So.
But I guess it makes sense because it puts you in what they call a hypercoagulable state. I'm going to get all nerdy here. I'm a PA in the real world,
dude.
So. But yeah. Now I'm wondering. So lupus is what we call a autoimmune disorder, and I'm wondering if the repetitive concussions, right, that obviously lead to the hallmark of the war on terror being TBI, which I believe is directly affects PTSD or causes PTSD. But if your body's going through those insults, then it absolutely makes sense that the immune response could go haywire. And yeah, you could develop lupus, you could develop rheumatoid, you could develop all these things.
Right.
Makes sense. And I would say it's probably directly related. Do you have anyone in your family with it, or?
No.
See, that's what's messed up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No family history. Yeah.
Did that affect your career in the military, or?
Oh, I was out by then.
Okay.
So I got out in 2009.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had, and again, I'm going off, and we're running out of time, so I'm trying to get all the good stuff here. You had written about this, and you read about your medical stuff that had started in while you were in, and then obviously worsened when you got out. Were you dealing with PTSD? Were you dealing with TBI? Were you dealing with everything and all of the above?
So I was definitely dealing with PTSD and TBI, but I was still holding to that to the old mindset of just, don't be weak. You got to be strong and fight through it. But until after I had the stroke, though, I mean, that was it. Like, yeah. I had to face everything. I had to come face to face with everything and face it all down from there, because obviously something was extremely wrong in my life and I need to address every aspect of it. So that's when I was like, yeah, I'm survivor's guilt was the culprit.
Yeah. I'm going to have a special on that.
Yeah.
That you're probably the 6,000th person that's brought up survivor's guilt. And
I
think it's an important topic. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Plus having the psychology, you say, finally reaching for help and getting help, the psychology of having the invisible wounds. And I even hate that term. I think it's queer, but having these invisible wounds where you can't see. And yeah, I mean, I remember I was sitting, I think it was with my wife, and we were talking about something, and I was like, I would rather have got my leg blown off. And she's like, are you mental? And I'm like, do you realize how, and it sounds awful. When I think about it, it sounds awful, but how simple life, and I don't mean to disparage anyone who lost their leg. It fucking sucks. And I don't ever want to lose a leg, but The point I was getting at is, and I still, I guess I feel that way, is that it's something you can look and say, look, there's my injury, and people look at that and they say, oh, okay, I get it.
Makes sense.
I kind of get it, and they can understand to some extent the recovery process and stuff. But when you have TBI, PTSD, it becomes this thing that people can't see, they can't touch, they can't understand unless they're in your shoes, and it has, I believe it's the hallmark of the global war on terror, and it's destroyed lives, and we're just learning now 20 years into it how to finally treat people with this. What was your treatment regimen like besides the lupus, because I know that can be a freaking hell show too, but the TBI?
That was actually the easiest part of it. Hydroxychloroquine, everybody knows what that is now.
Yep.
But that was that did the trick for me with lupus.
That's great.
It really is. It's still doing great, knock on wood.
Yeah.
I was put on blood thinners for the stroke, and all that. My INR was like gravy. So
for the folks, that is basically how thin his blood is. So
yes, sorry. Thank you.
His blood was thick. 2 C's.
God. The fact that you got that, I'm impressed.
I'm not a boomer. Come on. What? Shut up.
Ooh.
I'm a Gen X. You can even call me no, I'm a Gen X.
So I went in.
Go ahead.
Sorry. So therapy, I went into, I was in the VA, went to the whole mental health thing. And the real secret about that is, if you don't like the person you're talking to, just ask to talk to someone else.
Yep.
And I don't know if it was because I had the stroke and I just I lost a filter or two and it was just like, I don't like you. Like, I just want to talk to somebody else. Like, no offense, just whatever. So I'd eventually bounce around, and I found a person I really liked, and I was able to actually connect with them on a human level instead of like that professional level, right?
Yeah.
So that really worked out great. The thing that did not work out great was the medications that they were putting me on.
Sure.
And that's crazy that you bring this up, because I just looked through my healthy vet history at all of them and typed them all down. I have them somewhere, but it was stupid long.
Yeah.
All the different ones I was on, and you can look at the dates I was taking them, and they were all like a lot of overlap, and I was just like, God,
sure.
no wonder I got worse.
SSRIs, pain medication, gabapentin, perhaps,
Yep.
trazodone, nothing like a tricyclic antidepressant.
You're hitting all of them.
Ambien.
Not Ambien.
Xanax. Wait, did you say not Ambien or?
Not Ambien, no.
Oh man, are you kidding?
No.
You're supposed to take it like once a month.
What's the step below? Is that like tramadol?
Tramadol is a pain medication.
Oh, tramadol is a pain medication.
I do. There is one that stepped down. Well, there's a trazodone, which is a sleep medication. Technically,
that might have been it.
Yeah.
That might have been it.
All that did is, I won't get into it. Gives you weird side effects. Let's just tell you that.
No, it wasn't pretty.
But yeah, it's not good. Luckily, check out the interview I did with Mark Gordon a couple weeks ago, who's one of the leading experts on TBI. Mm-hmm. Luckily, we're starting to understand this, and we're starting to get a better spin on things, because I think, if you're prone to suicide, if you're prone to depression, if you're prone to any of those things, putting people on these medications are not fixing that problem.
No.
Just addressing the source of the issue. And also, a lot of people poo-poo talk therapy, but it's good. And especially if you go, did you do CPT, cognitive processing therapy, or which
I did that. I did prolonged exposure therapy. I did EMDR, and
is that the I one?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah, that's like crazy. the left right movement.
Yeah. You now this is going to sound crazy, but when you were doing it, did you have any weird out of body experiences or anything like that?
Not that I can really recollect, but I remember it being like it was really like a flow state feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it called?
I mean, maybe that's what you meant by it, but
yeah, EMDR.
EMDR. Yep.
EMDR. Yeah, I interviewed for my old podcast a woman who was doing EMDR, and she wrote a book about it. And the guy who kind of invented this, and again, it's like moving your eyes in certain directions. It sounds crazy, but he was a Vietnam veteran, PTSD, horrible nightmares and everything. And as he was doing this, he came face to face with a Vietnamese girl he accidentally killed.
Oh, wow.
And he said it was his outer body and an experience of the metaphysical to the point where you're never cured of it, but it totally fixed his symptoms. And then this started becoming standard. Like he would go through these things with people and they would have these like, I keep calling them outer body experiences. More like they would go into the spirit, almost like an ayahuasca trip or psilocybin or something like that. But it's completely natural. I mean, you're just moving your eyeballs around, but it's a common phenomena for people to, I don't know, go into a weird realm and talk to dead people. And it sounds crazy for me to say it, but it's true, man. I could have a whole episode on that. I swear to God, I'm this close to like. We keep talking about aliens on the show. We're talking about talking to dead people. It's like my
start to get that slash conspiracy theories at the end of the title.
So we're over 9 o'clock. So let's just, I hate to do this, but let's get to the goals of your book. So the book is going to be called Deathwalker Marines. And tell us about, like why you're writing it and when. I don't want to give you that. When is it going to be out? Because I'm assuming that's a process. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is something I've been working on. I knew there was a story, the story had to be told back when we were going through it. So I had taken notes. I know a lot of the other guys with me took notes, and it was something I've just been working on off and on over the years. After I had the stroke, it definitely was put on the back burner. So then it was back in June. So during the pandemic and all that, my buddy Boston reached out and he was like, "Hey, like, what do you have going on with the book you've been working on forever?" And I was just like, "All right, yep, you got me." He called me out. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you need that.
I did, and I 100% did. And he was just like, "What's going on with it?" And I was just like, "Well, it's kind of been on the back burner, but it's past time that this gets done, and it's kind of a good thing I waited so long so I could mature, because one of the other things I've said before was when I was first writing it, it was just terrible. I mean, I was so angry, so emotional that everything I was writing was just, nobody would want to read that in a novel. So, he got me get going again. So he's like, I got this idea. Let's start up this Instagram page. I'm like, all right. And he's like, and then you're going to start putting your writing on there. I'm like, all right. And he's like, and you're going to write this damn book. I'm like, okay, you got it. Like, let's do this. Let's go.
Is this Matt? Is this Matt Gregorio?
Yes, this is
okay.
Matt. Yeah, okay. This is Matt. So he's from Boston. So, and he's got a thick Boston accent. So, so we call him Boston.
Yeah.
And,
that makes sense.
So yeah. So we got this page going, and it's gained some traction, and a lot of people are interested in hearing about it. And the thing is like, there's a lot of books that have Ramadi in it, and at least I haven't read a single book that's told the story of Ramadi from like the beginning through to the end. Like, there hasn't been the story told about the revival of the city, which is just absolutely insane. Like, you would never guess from 2006 in September when we got there to the way it was in May of 2007. Wow. Just a complete turnaround. I always like to sum it up, in a nutshell. We were getting into over 30 firefights a day in the city in early September through December of 2006. And then the last 30 days we were there in May in 2007, there wasn't a single shot fired in the city.
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah. Nuts.
Yeah.
But it's a story that, it just needs to be told. We want to do what's right by everyone who was there. We want to credit everyone who was a part of it, directly, indirectly, tell the history of it. There's a there's a rich history there.
Yeah. It's
And then
civilization, as they call it.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
And then the whole Deathwalker thing, it's like this continuation from where they got the name in 2004 in the Uruzgan province in Afghanistan. And then carrying all that, what they learned there through Fallujah and then up to Ramadi, and then what we did in Afghanistan and Garmser, and then all of my boots going through into Marja. Like those Marines did incredible things that, looking at them as boots, I would have been like, nah, like there's no way in hell. But the one thing I always take away, and the one thing that someone asked me, like, what's your most important takeaway from the Marines? And I was like, I was a better teacher than I was an actual warfighter.
Yeah.
I taught these guys what I knew in Ramadi, and one of these dudes looked up at me and he's like, I learned more from you in an hour than I did in the last year. I was just like,
awesome. That's your job.
Awesome,
it's good
dude.
NCO right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the way it should be, is training up the junior guys, because you aren't going to be there forever.
Yeah.
They're going to be the ones leading the show. And that's what they took all that to Marja, and man, they made me proud.
That's awesome.
I mean, I could cry right now. I'm not gonna. I'm a Marine.
I always joke with people, we're gonna make you cry by the end of this. Hey, I got a question. On your left arm there. Let's see that tattoo real quick, and then I want Jeremy to pop his up here. Is this like a standard Marine Corps? Go ahead, pull yours up.
Damn it!
Look at okay, very similar. Look at you guys could have the same freaking arm. All right, what's the name of the tattoo place outside of Lejeune that you guys both got there? It's
I went to Outcast Tattoo. Shout out. I doubt Murph is there anymore, but yeah, Murph was legit.
I got mine in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
A local tattoo place that I know.
See, Air Force will keep them up nice and high. We can hide them under our blues.
Oh yeah, mine are down here.
Oh man, let them fly.
This is. I've actually joked that this is the year for the sleeve on Kevin Sullivan. So that could be happening this year. We'll see. I hope it does. All right, man. We'll send people to your Instagram. Is that the best place where they can watch and learn what's going on and kind of follow the? All right, and that's at Deathwalker Marines. Pretty simple.
Yep.
That's how I found it.
We do have a Facebook page, same name.
Okay.
So we're on there too, but yeah, we mostly work on Instagram.
And if you're a 1-6 and you served in Ramadi, reach out to him. I'm sure he wants to
for sure
hear your stories. And I'm going to get you in touch with Scott Husing. I think he would be a good resource, considering. Yeah. But I know
that'd be awesome.
He's super friendly and loves to talk to people about it. So yeah,
great. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. All right, man. Thanks for coming on. Again, we got to about 30 of questions, which means we'll have you on again someday. We'll finish
right
the
on.
interview.
Awesome.
Right, man?
Sounds good, guys.
Appreciate it.
All right. Take care, bro.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Now let me look. Do we have any? Are we still live? All right, good.
Yeah, we started live.
I just want to show this one thing. I know we're way over, and you're probably itching to get out of here. But a couple weeks ago, this has been on my to-do list. A couple weeks ago, we talked about India versus China. China. They had a battle with Lucille. So basically, in the border of India and China, they outlawed guns. So these guys are taking like baseball bats and barbed wire and just going old school. And we talked about it, and it was crazy. It was like, I don't remember, I'll make it up. 30 of them died by like being thrown off a cliff and stuff. Real crazy shit. Well, they have a video of it that just got released. Now, no one dies in this, but because I wouldn't show that. But check this out.
Went full niner.
Look at this. That's like 300.
Jesus.
Freaking Russia today. Kiss my ass, but they still have the video.
We're gonna make pyramid.
Hey.
I know. I'm
Look at this guy.
that's all.
This guy's sitting there just, yeah, what? You're coming over? They got sticks.
A bow and arrow.
They got sticks, sure. And then that guy's is all bloody because you'll see one of the guys gets freaking brained. That guy right there, I think he must be the officer.
There's Sparta.
Look at this. Jesus Christ. Whenever you're having rewind like 5 seconds.
Follow them through the gold.
Look at that. Look at the path. Look at the pass here. Look at that. That's like out of a freaking movie. The soldiers just go all the way back there. None of them have guns. They're there just to throw down. And not just fight, to freaking kill each other. This is that officer that they showed. He took a baseball bat to the head. Why not?
And negging the hell out of him.
Oh my gosh, that's insane. If you're ever having a bad day, you're like, oh, my car broke down. Dude, at least you're not sitting there with 1,000 Indian troops carrying clubs coming at you in the middle of a ravine somewhere. So get your head out of your ass. Call, text. I need like a snappy. It's got to be like call, text, email, get in touch with someone you served, because that's what we're here for. We're here to share stories and to keep each other out of isolation. And the best way to do that is to actually, like I said, get your head out of your ass and call people. And even if it's like, just do it. Just do it. Do me a favor and do that. If you don't want to donate money to veterantv.com /donate, veterantv.com /donate, then at least call and text someone to make this worthwhile. That's all I got. We will see you Sunday night, 8 p.m. for a telethon. So we're going to be talking about that. Maybe we can get you even $1. If you all do $1, there's 50,000 irreverent warriors out there. There's more now. I mean, the last I counted, if you all did $1, we would hit the number. So we will see you either Sunday, which I think we will, and next week. So without further ado, it's not how you end it. Without any more vomit coming out of my mouth, good night, and we will see you soon.